I got a little problem with Diet Coke, so I'm going to keep my Diet Coke up here if you guys are okay with that. All right. I'm honored to be here tonight. I came from Arlington, Texas, because I think it's really important to set the record straight. I want to be very clear. They don't like it when we go do this. When we go and we tell the truth about other Republicans, we have a rule in the caucus that's called the Incumbent Protection Program, IPP, the Incumbent Protection Program, where you can't campaign against another Republican. And I'll tell you, 4 of us went against that last cycle, and we got about 15 new freshmen elected because it was the right thing to do. They're Christian, conservative people that believe in less government and more control for you, right? And we're trying to do that again. So I want to be very clear. I don't dislike Stan Kitzman. I went to the Capitol. I go to the Capitol to do the work for 205,000 of my constituents in Arlington, and I think that's really important. It's important to note that all 149 people, plus me, the 150 there, I like them all, right? Even the super liberal, you're going to hear me talk about the super liberal progressive people, and the ones that can separate politics and have a personality, that can have a relationship. I want that with people. So I want to be clear, this isn't about hating Stan Kitzman. This is about setting the record straight and getting the right conservative Republicans elected. And so I'm going to tell you the story. It's the truth. I have no reason to lie. And then I'm going to play some video of the hearing from the committee. I was on the committee. Let's be very clear. I chose that committee, that session, with my seniority. I've been doing this 12 years. I chose that committee because of this topic. The horrible, barbaric act of gender modification of children. Can we all agree that that's pretty horrific? Yes. It's pretty bad, right? Yeah. So I chose that committee, and the one thing I found in the committee was that the medical professionals, doctors, there's video of me asking a doctor, what is a man, what is a woman, can a man have a baby? And you had doctors say that a man could have a baby. For real. They were telling me a man could have a baby, and they could not explain the difference between a man and a woman in committee. But what I'm going to play for you next is a question I asked a psychologist. Psychologists have what, 12-year degree? They go to school for 12 years? They're a doctor. And what this doctor said was that if the bill passed the way it was, which it passed that way, that they would continue to socially transition children. And when you talk about socially transitioning children, let me explain what that means. It means that if a boy thinks that they're a girl and they're at school and they say, I feel like I'm a girl, even though we got rid of being able to barbarically carve those children up and give them chemicals, they could still go and affirm the fact, oh, you know what, we get it. You think you're a girl, so you are a girl. They could still do that, and I wanted to stop that, right? So let me play what was said in the committee.
You assist some of these folks, young children, in transition?
I assist in their mental health care during transition. That's what you're asking, sir.
So are you supportive of it with the individuals?
I think that's a fair statement in the context of, doing again a careful assessment, collaborating with parents, collaborating with the young person.
So as we go through this, if this bill passes the way that it is, you can continue to do the services you do. They just won't be able to get the medication, and they may not be able to get the surgery. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you could...
Okay, so I go on for about another minute. Does that make sense to everyone? So we have a medical professional that says, yeah, the bill passes the way it is, and I want to be clear, the bill passed that way. Can we still socially transition children? The answer is yes. You heard it from the medical professional herself, the person that does it. So you all with me? Yeah. So fast forward to the bill coming on the floor, because I tried to get this on through the committee, and the committee wouldn't allow it. So there's a bill for a hospital, not a whole bunch of hospitals that a lot of people are telling you. It's one hospital. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a true conservative, and I care about children. If I have to protect children, one hospital and one doggone grant at a time, I'm going to do it. I'm going to protect children all day, every day in that capital. And so there was a bill, and that bill was to give funding to a children's hospital. And my amendment, I think it was April 17th, my amendment said, you can't take any of that grant money and use it to socially transition children. And you know what happened that night? some bad Republicans partnered with Democrats and they called what's a point of order. And they tried to say that my amendment was not germane to the bill. And the parliamentarian, who's a Democrat, along with the speaker at the time, who's no longer the speaker because he was not a great speaker, killed my amendment, right? They killed my amendment. So we went back to the drawing board that night. That was second reading. On third reading, we came back after about 5 hours of work with lawyers and my team, and we redrafted the amendment. There was no way they could possibly say that it was not germane to the bill. So I offered the amendment. And what the amendment said was pretty simple. With this grant money for this hospital, they cannot use it to socially transition children. And we had several Republicans, Stan Kitzman was one of them, that voted against it. I want to reiterate what I said a moment ago. I'm willing to protect all of the children of Texas if we could get it in the bill, but I'm also willing, if I have to, do it one hospital and one grant at a time. Because what if it was your child or grandchild that went to that hospital and they tried to socially transition your child or your grandchild? Our job in the legislature is to protect, one of the most important things is to protect the most vulnerable among us, the unborn and young, innocent children who can't help themselves. They need medical attention. They need mental health help, not mental health professionals that further the problem. I'll give you an example. If any of us in this room had a child that came up or a grandchild that said, you know what, I feel like a cat today. I'm a cat. I want to be a cat, I'm a cat. We would say, look, I get it, you're playing, you're not a cat, right? If that kept happening for weeks or months, would the people in this room go get mental health assistance for that child if you knew that they weren't playing anymore?
Yes.
That's what I would do. That's what I want. Stan Kitzman voted against that amendment. You're going to hear people say, oh, that was a gotcha amendment. You know what proves it's not a gotcha amendment? I chose that committee. I did those questions. We found out they were going to socially transition children. I offered the amendment on the second reading. They killed it. I worked for 4 to 5 hours that night, and we came back the next day with another amendment that they couldn't kill, and they had to vote on. One of the most popular things you'll hear in that building is, oh, don't do that amendment. You're going to cut some of the members up. You know what that means? Hey, the fake Republicans don't want to vote on it, so don't do the amendment. And guess what? I do those amendments because I'm a Republican and I'm a conservative. And if they can't take the heat for voting against something, then get out of the kitchen and don't be a state rep anymore. I want to reiterate something I said a moment ago. I don't dislike Stan Kitzman. I don't. But Stan Kitzman voted against that amendment, and he did it for one of two reasons. One of two reasons. He either didn't like the amendment, or he didn't like me. And sadly, in that building, that happens sometimes. And guess what? Today, it doesn't matter why he did it. He voted against the amendment. And for all the state reps out there that are traveling the state and calling me a liar and calling me a scumbag and saying stuff like that, I want to tell you, whoever's recording, I want to tell you, quit being disingenuous and dishonest. Start telling the truth. It's okay to be a truth teller. It's okay that our peers may not have made the right decisions all the time. All they have to do is own it. Hey, I made a mistake. You know what? I didn't like Tony, so I voted against it. I shouldn't have. Or hey, I really felt that way, so I voted against it, but I'm right 80% of the time with the other bills, right? When they can prove that to you. The bottom line is this. They voted against it. I brought receipts. I brought that video. There's floor debate, and then there's this. There's the vote record. You can't hide from your vote record, right? Connected?
It's green.
You can't hide from your voting record. Let me bring it up. My first amendment offered 2023, April 17th. They called a point of order on it and they killed it. It's right here. If anyone wants to come see it before I leave the building tonight, please do. 4/18, 2023, April. I was up on the floor, helping the author of the bill make sure that people weren't bringing crazy amendments up, doing stuff. This amendment was a good amendment. When you click on the vote, it shows But Stan Kitzman voted no. Let me tell you something interesting. This is the proof. This is receipts. The committee hearing where I had that woman say that, where she said that, that's receipts. The House floor debate, that's receipts. I got it all. There's no lying, there's no deception, except on the other side. Here's what's interesting. When you look at who voted for my amendment, there are a lot of Republicans that many would consider were kind of liberal Republicans that voted yes on my amendment. Because they care about children. Because they understand that, I might not like how Tony does this or does that, but that's a good amendment. Or some of them might have said, man, I can't vote no on this. That's going to hurt me later in a campaign, right? Now, what they're going to say is Tony did a gotcha amendment. I love public safety. I love law enforcement. That was my favorite committee. And I had enough seniority to ask for pretty much most committees, with the exception of 2 or 3. I gave up my public safety committee to oversee law enforcement. I gave it up and I chose public health. I'm going to be honest, public health is not a fun committee. They spend a lot of money. It's a really big learning curve. I'm telling you, the amount of money we spend on public health is just insane. Wasn't my favorite committee, but I had one goal in mind. My goal was, I'm elected and I'm going to protect children from getting carved up. And when I heard that woman say that, I knew at that moment I was going to do an amendment to protect children from social transition. Stan Kitzman, quit lying to people. Own it. Just be honest. You voted against the amendment, right? It's over. It's 3 years ago, right? Own it and move on. Quit lying to people. And the reps out there that are saying that I'm lying, you know that I'm not lying. It's on there. Is this enough proof for you, the people in the room? Isn't that enough? I wouldn't have traveled all the way here from Arlington, Texas to tell the truth if I didn't really have receipts. So I'll encourage you when I'm finished. I'd like you to come up. I'll show you the vote record. I'll show you who voted for it. I'll show you who voted against it. I got more video. I can give you the link to the webpage where you can go see it and screen print it and share it widely. You can share the video because you know where the video came from? I went and I looked at my Facebook page because I post the most important videos of my each session where I think they're so important. That was posted in 2023. I just went to my old page and I was like, I bet I have that on there. Guess what? I do. I have that with other stuff that doctors were saying that day. I want to open it up. I'm a politician that I owe answers. I owe you answers, and I'm willing to answer any question. Is there anyone in the room that has a question? Any question. Doesn't matter what it is. Yes, ma'am.
What is your website?
Well, it's my Facebook page. And so it's just look for State Representative Tony Tinderholt. I think it's Tony Tinderholt for Texas, I think is what it is. And when you go through the videos, you'll see them. I'll show you before you leave. Does anyone else have any questions? Ask hard questions. If you're apprehensive and you just don't know, ask away. I traveled 4 hours to come here to tell you this. It's that important. There are people in the Capitol that are not doing the right thing sometimes. Look, campaigns are hard. That doesn't make someone a bad person to vote wrong, right? What we think is wrong, they might not think is wrong. But this vote sure as heck was not a conservative vote for him. It sure as heck was not a Republican vote for him. I still don't know to this day why he voted no on it, but it doesn't matter. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of children that go to that hospital and they can be socially transitioned if they get grants and money from us. Because this amendment didn't pass, they can be socially transitioned. I'll say it again. I will fight every minute of every day to protect innocent children. And I will continue to do it, and I'm doing it today right here. And if I can't get it on a bill that covers the whole state, I'll do it one hospital and one grant at a time because every child matters. And that day, those children did not matter to Stan Kitzman. I don't know why. Own it. Just own it and move on. Quit calling people liars and quit calling people scumbags. Right? Too easy. I will be here for a while. If you guys have questions, you want to see more video, you want to see the evidence, you want the web page, the state page where the record votes are, please come see me. Thank you guys for hosting me today. Air Force 10 years, I did 10 in the Air Force as a linguist, and then I got out. And then September 11th happened 4 years later, and I decided to join the Army as an officer. I actually went the other way. I went from blue to green instead of green to blue. I'll tell you, it was good. I learned a lot of leadership in the Army. I'm so appreciative of my Air Force time, and I love my Army time. But I have this passion in my heart for service, and I did 21 years in the military. I've done 12 in the legislature, and I'm going to keep serving my community and some other elected positions. But I want to say thank you to you, Goose. The legislature is not easy. It doesn't, I don't know if you know, it pays $600 a month. It doesn't pay a ton of money. It's got to be a passion, and it's going to take a lot of your time. And I just want to say thank you now, because running's hard. If you think this is hard, wait till you get to the Capitol. It's hard because a lot of people they'll get swayed because of friendships, or they'll get swayed because they feel bullied, or they'll get swayed because of the fear of the perceived power at the Capitol. The one thing I'm convinced of after meeting you is that you did a long career in the military, and you understand what stress and pressure is. And I'm confident that you won't sway, and you'll go there and you will be a hard Republican that's respectful to others. And you will try to work with others, and when you can't, you're going to vote right, and you're going to do these hard amendments. And so that's part of the reason I'm here. I want to say thank you for that, because it's not easy to do. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.